Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. And folks, I have a really exciting update for you in this video on Planet of the Apes 4. And also, it's going to be a connection video as to why Brooklyn has such an amazing connection to the Planet of the Apes franchise. And I'll show you that. It's basically where the movie was originally set and where this movie is going to pretty much go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. Planet of the Apes 4. So right off the bat, I have to say that Disney has been very loyal to all the franchises that they've acquired. Star Wars, they've done immense job, I think, but they've done pretty well with Marvel. And now that they own Fox, they have their hands on the Alien franchise and, of course, Planet of the Apes. But Wes Ball, who has been announced as the director, says today that he's going to be very loyal to the last three movies that have been made. And those were really great movies. I wasn't crazy about the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movie, but we know Wes Ball is going to be the director. And since he's going to be loyal to that project, we could also assume a lot of things. Most likely that this movie is going to be kind of a reboot of the original movie, where at the same time staying loyal to the last three movies. Now, I think the way that they're going to do this is Caesar, who passed away in War for Planet of the Apes, right? His son Cornelius, which we know is there, he's going to be taking the lead in this movie. And if you remember from the other movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the Icarus was announced in the movie as going to Mars. Now, I think if you look at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes, right, they're looking at the sky, and I think that's an indication that the Icarus, the spaceship called the Icarus, is going to be coming back to Earth. And that's where that's going to lead into. So you're probably going to see Cornelius as the scientist that he was in the original series back in the 60s and early 70s with Roddy McDowall. And I think they're going to pick it up from there, which I think is going to be really interesting. And of course, we know it's going to be heavily CGI laden because that's pretty much where these movies have to be, because the makeup and stuff will be way too expensive for everyone to do. But with that in mind, they've also said, which is a breaking news release, that the movie is going to be coming out in 2023 or 2024. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be more 2023 because they obviously do a lot of the CGI stuff. They're not going to have to worry about production delays or anything happening with, environments outside, which was often the delay for a lot of the James Bond movies years ago and for things like Apocalypse Now. I think it's going to really be exciting. Now, since this is a Brooklyn channel, a lot of people don't realize the amazing connection that Brooklyn has to the original movies. Now, in this video, I want to show you how the Statue of Liberty was actually in Brooklyn. If the movie was real, and if you look at the setting and you look at the geography of Brooklyn in proximity to Manhattan, you have to realize that the Forbidden Zone was Manhattan and that the Ape City was pretty much in Rockaway probably. And when Charlton Heston is going along and sees the Statue of Liberty, which is the greatest movie reveal in history, I'm going to show you this. So if you guys have about 7 or 8 minutes, you're going to really enjoy this video. I've really done an in-depth analysis on this. I'm from Brooklyn. Not only am I from Brooklyn, I spent so much time in Bay Ridge, and where I'm going to show you where the scene actually would have taken place. I think you're going to enjoy it, so stay tuned for this part of the video, and I hope you guys really like it. Let me know. Shoot me some comments. This is the Verrazano Bridge, and this is what we call the Narrows. This is where if you come into Brooklyn on a cruise ship, you have to pass underneath the Verrazano Bridge to get to Manhattan. So Staten Island is on your left, Jersey is right after that on your left. The Statue of Liberty would just be a couple of miles down the river from this point right here. But the reason I'm showing you this video that I took is because the flow of the Narrows actually pushes toward Manhattan. Now, if you read stories on this, you read up on this, you'll see that underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, that's where most of the things wash up. If a car falls in here, they actually found mammoth bones that was up toward past the Brooklyn Bridge. So this is the trend of this area right here. So like whatever was to go in the water around this area would end up flowing toward the Brooklyn Bridge. So basically Jersey City, the rear end of the Statue of Liberty faces Jersey City, and the front of the Statue of Liberty that you're looking at right here faces Brooklyn, and which is, if you pull back a little bit to the right, you'll be able to see the Brooklyn Bridge. So where I'm standing right here is in Red Hook. So what would happen is if there was a situation like in the end of the Planet of the Apes, I want to show you this right here. This is what I was showing you before. That in the foreground there is the Verrazano Bridge. So where that would have been walking. So essentially, the rear end of the statue is facing Jersey. So if there was a situation like what would happen in the Planet of the Apes, the front of the statue would actually flow over here toward Brooklyn. So what you're looking at right here in this area, which is downtown Brooklyn, this would be where the statue would end up. She would end up on that side. So when you're watching the end of the Planet of the Apes, which again, I'll show you again. I hope this is kind of helping you, and I'll put in some pictures as well. But this is a theory, actually, that I think is a very good one. And if you read up on the tides and you read up how these things work, this is where the statue would have been. She would have broken in half, as you saw in the movie. This is a solid base right here. This was actually built on an old fort. And whatever tide or current would have pulled her over to the side. And Charlton Heston would have been actually walking up. So she basically would have been right over there. Now, once again, back to the video I was showing in the beginning that I took. The Statue of Liberty, now you know where the Statue of Liberty would be in proximity to this bridge. She would have washed up a little farther up from here. And when Charlton Heston is actually riding up on his horse with Nova, this is pretty much the direction he would have been going. He would have been walking up this direction, and he would have come to the statue, and probably right underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, downtown Brooklyn. And I could also show you some of that too, but essentially you get the idea. He would have been coming up with the horse right up this direction. The Forbidden Zone probably would have been like, in this area right here, which he would have been in. And the subway, of course, being Manhattan, would have been right near where the statue would have been, of course. So this is my theory. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy it. And like I say, folks, just to talk about my own experience now, before I close the video, because I haven't talked about this before. I touched on it before, about how I saw this movie when I was 8 years old, and it completely knocked me out. So just seeing this scene at 8 years old, and growing up in Brooklyn the way I did, and seeing the Statue of Liberty pretty much every day of my life, because we lived on like the highest, near the highest spot in Brooklyn, it just completely floored me at 8 years old. And I really think to this day, this is probably the most interesting, best ending of a movie ever. And the fact that it was thought up by Rod Serling of The Twilight Zone just makes it that much better. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I want to show you a scene right now, show you a little tidbit, or tell you a little tidbit, something you might not know. The famous scene in the original Planet of the Apes movie, when Charlton Heston is in the net, his voice is so raspy, and it's actually a fact that he had the flu at the time, and that added to the raspiness of the voice because he hadn't talked for a while. He had the wound, the gunshot to the throat. So I'm going to show you the scene right now and the video on that. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. And this is Al. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. And can't wait for the Planet of the Apes 4 movie. I'll keep giving updates along the way. And really think it's going to be great. I'm real excited that the franchise is going forward. I think Star Wars franchise is starting to wane. So by 2023 or 2024, who knows? We might see some new attraction at one of the Disney parks. I'm really hoping for that. I think it'd be fantastic. And who knows? Maybe we'll get an Ape Hotel. That could be the next hotel at Disney. I mean, I would certainly subscribe to that one. And all right, well, hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you soon. Love you guys. Take care. And enjoy this last scene.
Why did you run away?
Security.
Security Police.
I'm in charge of this man.
No longer, madam. He is now in the custody of the Ministry of Science.
Take your sticking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!